What is your action design process, ideally?
Ideally, what I'll do is I action design pretty much like the Hong Kong way. It hasn't let me down in the past, and I know there are a number of ways in which people do things now. Okay, um, a lot of the younger guys, they like to do a lot of previs. Okay, all of that is great. Okay, to kind of give you a basic skeletal structure of what you need to do, but that can't compensate for the organic aspect of the action. See, because when you do previs, sometimes your action tends to look prearranged in some way. It looks prearranged. You can't lose sight of the fact that you got to keep that modicum of realism, that modicum of not so choreographed, that it's offbeat and it's sloppy and it's out of sync and blurry and tight, and you can't keep it clean, and I find that a lot of times that a lot of the younger filmmakers like, well, we previs this and we previs that. Okay, yeah, that's all great. Samuel will walk into a room, stand there and look for 30 seconds, figure out what needs to be done, design the action on the spot, get the cameras in there, and film the scene. It wasn't storyboarded. It wasn't previs. It came from his skull. I watched Yin Mu Ping do the same thing. Now, nowadays they use certain things with the previs and everything because it's different now. You know what I mean? Now, with the advent of the way cell phones are now, you can really use them to your advantage because they can almost operate as the camera itself from the amount 5, 6 lenses on one camera. You know what I mean? You can make do with what you need, but never lose sight of your foundation. Okay, what if you didn't have all that? It would have to come from here, and so sometimes that's where I'm at now. That's what I do. I do a lot of that. Now I do work with previses. I'll explain something. I'll take a look at the previs. I'm not married to the previs. The previs kind of gives me a blueprint. Okay, I see what I need to do here.
Previs, without getting into my opinions too much, tends to look like fights on a Persian rug because yeah, they don't seem to
Mm-hmm.
exist actually where they're being shot. Do you think that the likes of Samo and Yumul Ping and anybody who does it on the spot, is there an element of pressure making greatness, the pressure to deliver on the spot?
Mm-hmm.
Is there an element of that helps you when you're designing action?
Yes, yes, it does. Again, the American tempo is different now. You know what I mean? I'll watch the previses. Like we have an action team. They'll come in with their little previses and everything. I'll read this concept. I'll say, okay, I like this part. I don't like that. That feels prearranged. That feels gimmicky. I don't like how you use the camera right here. That sort of thing. And I'll let them go through the motions, but then ultimately I'll make the adjustments on where I think the enhancements need to go. And I think that that's where a lot of the creative energies are lost these days. Like, stop feeling like you need to just blueprint your previs. That's not, that doesn't give you the right look and feel. That feels prearranged. And that's the part that I try to get a lot of young filmmakers. I've been in this for a minute. I try to tell them, but they want to stick to, I guess it's the schooling of how it is these days. And it's almost like you see the 12 foot of water, but you're afraid to kind of just jump in. Boom. You can see the ledge. You can swim to the edge and get back out, but jump in. Stop. It doesn't have to be safe. Jump in. And I think that right there is somewhat lost in some respects. However, Big Brother Andy does that a lot now. He really knows how to like dig in. And again, you see what he does. He takes those old sensibilities, but he also brings in that breathes in that youth, that energy. Marshall Club been around for a long time. They've been doing a bunch of stuff. No one ever gave him a shot. I've always said that's the group to watch out for. I said that. I said there's something, they have something that's different than everyone else. And once it's captured correctly and the masses see it, it'll take off like flies. You know what I mean? Because there's just some that have that creative energy, and they don't rely on previses. They kind of do it. organically.